Let's do this. Zach Show.
Josh Dunn, 21 Pilots.
Yes.
Dude, this new album, man, it's good. And I caught a little bit of sound check the other day for the AMAs.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be a special performance.
You think?
The aesthetic, like, can you just walk me through how it comes together and how it's created? And, like, because it is so, I didn't catch all of it. I just took a look at the set pieces. You're telling a story in that performance. Who do you work with? How do you put it together?
It's ultimately me and Tyler, and I think that, I mean, we've ended up just kind of partnering with really great people who listen to kind of ideas that we have, and then they're great at bringing them to life. So, yeah, I think that we try to stay really super hands-on with every aspect of kind of like what a live television performance looks like versus a tour show, because they're completely different. It's weird sometimes, is trying to present yourself and your art to a bunch of people who maybe don't like you, but also maybe don't know you.
Yeah.
So you're like, in 4 minutes or less, you have to convince everybody that you're cool or worth listening to, or that we're, I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, I think that's probably where the most nerves come from, is because, like, as humans, we want people to like us. So yeah, I don't know.
But you can't think of that when you're making your art, obviously.
Yeah, I think it comes in and out sometimes. I think that it's important to realize that what I see in bands that sometimes I'll get frustrated by is if I fall in love with an album and then they put out an album that's just completely different. Mm-hmm. And I never really understand that. I love the idea of growth of artists and that kind of trajectory, but at the same time, we all love what you did, and that's kind of how you got here now. So I think it's important to keep in mind the people who have invested this far,
and they're giving you time, they're giving you money, like
totally, yeah, and there is a lot of investment, and for whatever it is, and I think time is probably the biggest one,
and emotion.
Yeah,
people, and there's something about your music and that people do give themselves, but you also give yourselves in every record you put out. And you mentioned Trench is like, once I heard one of the records and I started from the top, you knew it was 21 Pilots. There was not a huge, there was growth and evolution that I could pick up on, but it wasn't like a completely new sound. What is the biggest change between Trench and everything else you put out into the world?
I don't know. And I think this one was different because it was all, the whole thing was produced by Tyler in his basement, which is that's how we did things when we first started the band, really. It was kind of just in Tyler's house. So I think if anything, it kind of brings, it brings back to where we were a few, years ago, before the past couple albums. The biggest change, I think that we really try to learn from every experience, whether it's being in the studio with people who know way more than we do about gear, or how to mix or EQ things, or being on tour and just kind of, I mean, even when writing, it's just like, the show kind of lacks this type of vibe, sometimes I'll just be like, Tyler, write another rap in the second verse or whatever, and you pick up on what people kind of like or dislike sometimes, and I think it's just trying to always learn and get better. So hopefully that's what we're doing. I hope.
How long had it been since you worked in his basement?
Well, I guess everything's like typically written either there or on the road. This one was fully there just because we were touring pretty heavily, and then.
Did you cut all the vocals in his basement too?
Everything, yeah. I mean, everything pretty much except for drums was done in his basement.
Cool.
So,
incredible album. The performance is gonna be sick. And I want to know, like, working in a basement and going back to your roots, what are you reminded of? Like, what do you like?
I mean, it's home, Columbus, Ohio. So I think that it's that's awesome, having family around and close friends, and I think it's a comfortable environment.
And it reflects your art, does
Yeah.
it? Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, totally.
Josh?
I think Trench is my favorite album you guys have done
Oh,
so
really?
far. Yeah. Just had to let you know.
Thanks. I like your hat.
I was gonna say I like yours too.
Can't see our heads.
Love.
Camo jokes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.